Good evening, everyone. I'm Lily Simmons. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, drone security. Lawmakers in Lansing have introduced legislation aimed at keeping Michigan skies safe. We'll have the details. And Michigan is looking to grant millions of dollars to programs that allow students to learn outside of a classroom setting. We'll tell you how. Plus, we are live in downtown Marquette, where the Salvation Army is kicking off its annual Red Kettle campaign. Your 19 News at 6 starts right now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Well, Kelly, it's been a drizzly day in Marquette so far. How is the rest of our forecast looking?
Yeah, Lily, we have seen some of the precipitation during the day, and most of it has been at least on the rain side because it's been warmer. But we are starting to see a shift in that on our radar. You see the blue. That means there's that wintry mix in there. Could be some wet snowflakes flying around. But at the moment, any type of precipitation that's happening is light, and it's very scattered, and it's very isolated. But we are at that freezing mark, 32 degrees for us into Marquette, so it's not out of the question to see that sort of wintry mix or wet snowflake in there. And of course, temperatures will get colder into the overnight. Will still be around the lower 30s, upper 20s as you get your Saturday started tomorrow. I will break down everything you need to know for the rest of 3 T's of a forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Kelly. In Delta County, law enforcement say there is no threat to the public after an incident at a Gladstone business. Early this morning, the Gladstone Public Safety Department responded to a scene at Pardon Incorporated, where an individual appeared to have a gun. However, officers determined that the gun was not real. They were able to get the situation under control, and the individual was taken to OSF for a psychological evaluation. One officer told WZMQ 19 that there is and was no real danger to the community. In Lansing, the state is looking to grant $72 million to programs that give students a chance to learn outside the classroom. The Michigan Department of Lifelong Education, Advancement, and Potential is now accepting applications for the 25-26 school year. The funding will support after-school programs or summer enrichment. The department says the investment will help students stay engaged, discover new interests, and build lifelong skills.
I would just like to say, apply, apply, apply. You have the opportunity to serve our kids. This is the opportunity we want you to take. Our goal is to make sure there's $73 million distributed throughout the state of Michigan to take care of our kids.
Applications are due November 18th, and the department is hosting help sessions throughout the month. You can find more on those applications at WZMQ19.com. Meanwhile, lawmakers are taking aim at drone security, introducing what they're calling the most comprehensive drone package in the country. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy explains what's in the plan and how it could change the skies above Michigan.
Lawmakers in Lansing say Michigan is ready to take the lead on drone regulation with the new bipartisan bill package they're calling cutting edge.
This bill package is the most comprehensive drone package you will find in the U.S. right now.
The legislation, known as the SHIELD Plan, focuses on 4 areas: drone security, public safety, critical infrastructure, and management. Sponsors say the goal is to protect taxpayer-funded operations from foreign threats.
We're essentially mirroring what the federal government is doing on their purchasing prohibitions with drones used in the public space by public entities.
The package includes a 2-year purchase window and 5-year usage period, allowing local agencies time to replace non-compliant equipment. It would also restrict trespassing by drones over private property, a first-in-the-nation privacy measure.
Nothing stops a drone from flying into any power plant around the state. That's not okay. And we as a state are taking the lead.
Under the plan, critical infrastructure like power plants, correctional facilities, and law enforcement buildings would be designated no drone zones, complete with posted signage and new avenues to install geofencing technology.
This is a game changer in our state. This is a game changer in the U.S.
The SHIELD plan is backed by 6 Democrats and 6 Republicans. Sponsors say it's about security, privacy, and innovation, making Michigan a national leader in drone safety. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
As the government shutdown continues in Washington, travelers across the country are hitting turbulence, and not in the sky. Staffing shortages are grounding flights at more than 36 major U.S. airports. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon has more from Reagan National, just one of the airports seeing reductions as of today.
Unattended If you're catching a flight this week, pack your patience. The FAA is now cutting back flights at 40 major airports, including Chicago's O'Hare and Midway, New York's LaGuardia and JFK, Detroit Metro, and DC's Reagan National.
It can be aggravating just sitting on the runway for 45 minutes waiting to take off because of short staffing or whatever it may be.
Katie Paxton arrived in Washington Friday afternoon from Raleigh. It's not one of the 40 airports impacted by the reductions yet, but she was still prepared for delays.
There's already been a couple times on the way here they did give us a heads up, hey, we might be just sitting here for 45 minutes. Thankfully, they kind of reversed that real quick and we were able to take off, but I know other people have been impacted and just kind of stuck on the runway for a little bit.
Airlines canceled about 4% of flights on Friday, more than 800 nationwide, as an air traffic controller shortage ripples through the entire system. Controllers say they're burning out, some even picking up second jobs or calling in sick as missed paychecks pile up.
But at one point, you're going to get burned out. And that's what we're seeing now. There's a higher level of fatigue with the controllers because they've been doing this for a long time as we've tried to mitigate the impact of the shutdown.
As fatigue among controllers rises, delays are expected to do the same. If the shutdown continues, reductions are expected to more than double by next Friday.
But there's an easy answer. There's an easy answer. Open up the government. Stop this.
Experts say travelers should plan ahead, book direct flights, watch for last-minute app alerts, and if possible, drive to a bigger airport. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, it's unclear how the shutdown and the flight reductions will impact the busy holiday travel period. Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
Amid the federal shutdown, a business here in the UP is helping those facing food insecurity. A community member approached Gilbert Dairy about buying milk to give away to those who have not received this month's SNAP benefits. The general manager agreed to match their offer, and yesterday, the business held a drive-through distribution. Staff gave away 1,000 gallons of 2% milk, along with some skim and whole milk by request. Some people stopped by just to thank the team for their generosity without taking any of the milk. As part of the Dairy Farmers of America, staff say Gilbert Dairy is a community-oriented business and that it takes just one person to start something wonderful. Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, Northern Michigan University is hosting a creative collaboration conference this weekend. We'll have the details. And later, we are live in downtown Marquette to kick off the annual holiday tradition. We'll hear from the Salvation Army about its Red Kettle campaign in just a few minutes.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back on this Friday. People are out and about, and hopefully everyone has those layers on because, I was going to say chilly, but it's just cold because we are around that freezing mark, especially into the Marquette area. Mostly 30s across the board here, still hanging on to some 40s down to the southern portions, but you can thank the winds from the north. This is a pretty consistent and breezy wind from the north that we have, especially up to Copper Harbor. So because it's breezy and from the north, we know that it's cold. And what we are seeing right now is a little bit of that radar indicated snow. Now, radar does give us a very good idea about what's happening, but it unfortunately can't get that complete lower level scan of what's actually hitting the ground. So that's why during the winter time, we like to use the radar, and then genuinely people that just send in emails or Facebook comments that say, hey, it's snowing right here, a little bit of ground truthing. So any precipitation that is falling, we know there's a good chance that there is some wet snow going on right now into most of the Marquette County area. So just keep that in mind. Not a lot of it is going to stick just quite yet because this is the first major snowfall of the season. It is going to take a little bit for snow to accumulate, especially if it does still have that wintry mix in there. The minute you get any of that rain component or the liquid component to it, it automatically makes it harder to stick. When it hits the ground, it'll most likely just kind of wash away. But if you get freezing rain, that can also be pretty dangerous. But anyway, your first warning weather futurecast will still continue to see those snowflakes, isolated flurries throughout the overnight. And as you get your day started tomorrow and then Sunday morning, we'll continue to see it basically carry on. But you can kind of see these bands wavering back and forth. That is an indication that yes, we're dealing with lake effect snow, but the winds are going to be all over the place. We do have that major jet stream still going to be at play. So this is upper level winds that have an influence on the surface level winds, what we actually feel as human beings. You can see that we are right here, and we are going to get a pretty decent amount of that cold air going way south of us. So of course we'll still be in that area that it is really cold, and it is going to set up the northern winds for an extended period of time, meaning a few days. This is going to be a multiple day of sort of a lake effect snow event. That's why it's kind of tough when these winds are going to be shifting around, but it will be breezy and we will get the lake effect components in there. You can almost kind of see where these bands want to set up, but from now until Sunday afternoon, which is still a good majority of this multiple day event, technically starting tonight, we still could see maybe about an inch for the Marquette area. Other areas where we get the snow band setting up about 2 inches, and then we tack on that snow that we're likely still going to get for Monday on top of that too, and it could be a pretty decent event, but I'll have more on that at 11 o'clock. Snow showers completely start to taper off for Veterans Day. We'll still be stuck into the 30s, and then we'll clear things out into the 40s and at least some upper 30s as we get into next week.
Thanks, Kelly. A new movement is sparking creativity across Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Revolve CC is bringing artists, makers, and innovators together to build a vibrant and supportive creative community. Their mission is to grow a sustainable network that celebrates collaboration, diverse voices, and new ideas by connecting underrepresented groups and fostering partnerships. Revolve CC hopes to make the UP a thriving home for the creative class, enriching the region and inspiring growth for years to come.
Our organization is largely developed for building that community through all these different artistic mediums in terms of bringing everybody together for different creative passions that they have.
Tomorrow, the conference will feature keynote speakers in various areas of the creative process. Tickets are still available at revolvecc.net. Coming up after the break, we're live in downtown Marquette to kick off the Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle campaign. Our John Truitt takes us there in just a moment.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Lily Simmons.
Ready or not, the holidays are just around the corner, and one of the first signs of the season is happening right now in Marquette. WZMQ 19's John Truitt is live at the Commons for the annual Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign kickoff. How's it going, John?
Hi, Lily. It is going. It's snowing, and we're all out here celebrating what is a Christmas tradition, is the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. Joining me now is Bill Bruto, and he's the head of our local Salvation Army, and they work throughout the year on so many good things. Tell us about the campaign for the Red Kettle this year.
Yeah, so this is the 136th year that across the nation the Salvation Army has their Red Kettle Christmas campaign, and the kettles went out today, and we are raising funds to help kids have toys for the Christmas season, and then also make sure that families have the nice Christmas meal and Thanksgiving food. But then also it goes to provide for all of our other services throughout the whole year. All the funds that are raised in those red kettles stay locally. Just this past year, we did 40,000 hot meals to local residents in Elger, Marquette, and Baraga counties. And this week alone, as there's been many challenges across our nation, we've been out across our 3 counties serving people, and the amount of people that we served just this past week is what we would do in a total month. And so the need is great right now, and so we're just asking everyone as they pass by those red kettles to come out and support us. We're trying to raise $101,000 through the red kettles, and our larger Christmas campaign goal is $350,000. So there's a lot of need. We're going to continue to meet those needs and continue just to show kindness and love, especially during the holiday season, to as many people as we possibly can.
The food pantries, I know, are getting taxed. They're reaching their limits, and we need to refill them and restock them as soon as possible. Where do the majority of the funds go? And I understand they stay local.
Yeah. So I mean, all the funds through that we raise go right back into our community. They go to food purchases for families. They go to clothing vouchers, bus vouchers, electrical assistance. So we try to help out as many different ways. Of course, you know, we are planning on helping 1,500 kids between the 3 counties for this Christmas for toys and for food. Also, we help with 6 local elementary schools and high schools with their weekend food supplement program. So we're doing that every week. We have an at-risk teen center that we run. So we have a lot of programs. We're trying to help as many individuals as possible, and we just want to have an impact in our community.
Well, they are just a phenomenal organization. When you see the red kettle, when you hear the bell, dig into your pockets, grab what you can, and give every single time you see the red kettle. It's just of vital importance, especially this year. Lily, we're going to send it back to you in the warm studio, and we'll keep ringing.
Thank you, John. Try to stay warm out there. After the break, Mike Ludlum joins us in the studio with the latest in UP sports, including today's announcement about the resignation of NMU's head football coach. And later, the Upper goddess shows us how she makes pickled carrots from her garden. Stay with us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 17, and 18, 19. Good evening, everyone. Northern Michigan University Athletic Director Rick Comley announced football head coach Shane Richardson resigned effective immediately today. University officials say details related to Richardson's resignation will not be shared by the university due to the privacy of personnel matters. In a press release, Comley says the university is committed to achieving standards consistent with the focus on the success of each of the student athletes, adding the search for a new head coach will begin immediately. Richardson had a 1-30 record in nearly 3 seasons as head coach. The only win came October 18th at Roosevelt. Richardson was previously the head coach at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. He had a 39-50 record there and a 10-2 mark in 2016. Richardson was a 4-year letter winner at NMU from 1997 through 2000 and a 3-year starter at linebacker, earning all GLIAC honors his final 2 seasons. Billy Lindquist will serve as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. The administrative leave for assistant coach Joe Gatz will be lifted on Monday, November 10th. The Wildcats visit Davenport tomorrow and conclude the season Saturday, November 15th at home against Wayne State. The Michigan Tech football team is ready to meet Valley State. The Lakers are 28-2 against Michigan Tech since 1985. Right now, Grand Valley is 5-3. Tech is 7-2. But Tech head coach Dan Metlack says Grand Valley is still Grand Valley.
They're talented in all their skill spots. I mean, offensively and defensively, their guys can run. They're aggressive. So they're tough matchups defensively for us when they get those guys in space. Offensively, they're going to be aggressive on the edges in our guys' face. Defensively, they're a different structure than we've seen in these past couple of weeks, so that's going to be different for us. You got to take care of the football, take advantage of your opportunities when you get in the scoring zone, and obviously if they're going to throw it as much as we think they're going to, right, we got to hopefully run into a couple as well and get some breaks from that standpoint.
Kickoff tomorrow is set for 2 o'clock. The NMU men's soccer team hosts Purdue Northwest in a first-round GLIAC tournament quarterfinal contest on Sunday. This will be the second time in program history that a first-round game will be held in Marquette. Wildcats head coach Alex Vodovich says nothing is guaranteed at this point.
Keep doing what you're doing. Stay hungry. Stay humble. We've never won anything still. So I don't know why anybody would at this point be like, okay, we're good, or we've made it. We have not made it. We are still at the steepest part of the mountain, is what I tell the guys. We had about 300 people, 350 people last week. I think we could easily get to 500, and there's no reason why we couldn't get 1,000 people at that site on Sunday.
Time for the match Sunday is 1 o'clock. The Wildcats defeated the Pride 3-0 last Sunday at home. Big volleyball match in progress at Vandeman Arena between Ferris State and NMU. Ferris State is going to get that point right there, and that would force Mike Lozier to call a timeout in the first set. The Wildcats came back to win that first set, and right now it's tied at 2, and the fifth set is just underway. Lily, back to you.
It's time now to turn to the Upper Goddess, who is showing us how to pickle carrots from her garden.
Hi. So another thing I love to do in the fall is make pickled carrots. I also love to make sauerkraut, but pickled carrots are like sauerkraut. They're fermented, they're delicious, and I put tons of garlic in them because the raw garlic is so good for you. You just won't have any friends. But Dean eats them too, so we're okay. He's outside winterizing plants. But anyway, I want to show you how I do this. You're going to shred your carrots. Look at their cool little sticks. I bought this little grinder and it was like $25. It's got this little thing here where you can, it don't stick to this tile, but it sticks to my dining room table. It makes the perfect little thing. It has all these different blades. It's like super, super cool. So anyway, you're gonna put your carrots in a jar, and then you're just gonna tap them down. And you can get creative with this. You can add cayenne peppers. That's what I put in mine last year, and they're a little spicy, which is so good. Here's some of the ones, I had these from last year, and they're still crunchy and delicious. They've been in the fridge for a year. Can you believe that? And I've been eating them. They're full of probiotics. And no, I've never gotten sick from eating anything fermented. I mean, if it started to get mold on top, then I would throw it out. But you're gonna let this sit. I'm gonna take a tablespoon of sea salt and dissolve it in water, and I'm gonna pour it in there. Just make sure you get your water over the carrots, and you're gonna let this sit on your counter 3, 4, 5 weeks. But what I want you to do is taste the liquid on it and make sure it's salty. And when you put the lid on, you want to put the lid on like really loose, because pressure is going to build up in there, and you're just going to let that pressure out, or else just put cheesecloth with a rubber band or something over it and let it sit, and you will have a delicious thing to put on salads and whatever you want to do. Just eat it straight out of the jar. So give it a try. Keep smiling.
Meteorologist Kelly Rowland has one final look at the forecast right after this.
Welcome back. We have some snowflakes flying around, mainly contained to the Marquette area, but that is not out of the question considering that we're at about 32 degrees right now. We do have a winter weather advisory for most of the Upper Peninsula that will go into effect Saturday at 7 p.m. and last all the way through Monday at 7 p.m. This is possibly 1 to 4 inches of snow and in the persistent snow bands. Cold temperatures tonight into the 20s, and we'll keep more of the snow and the cold on the way for the rest of the weekend and into this upcoming Monday.
Thanks for joining us on your 19 News at 6. We'll see you again at 11:10 Central.